Hi guys, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about shopping intentionally, specifically tips to help you and that have helped me shop for a capsule wardrobe and just shop more intentionally when it comes to clothing. Creating a simplified, more capsule style wardrobe is something I've kind of been on a long journey of for about a year now, and I have pretty much completed my capsule wardrobe, and a whole tour video is going to be coming soon. But cultivating a more simple, minimalistic wardrobe simplifies your life in so many ways. It simplifies your choices when you're putting together outfits in the morning, simplifies your shopping habits, your spending habits. Also, these tips aren't just for if you're trying to build a very strict capsule wardrobe. Whether you're just trying to get a more cohesive wardrobe going, or you just want to minimize the amount of stuff you're buying, no matter what your situation is, you can take some of these tips. Also, you don't have to implement all of these tips, just take what you want, take what you can from this video. So my first tip is to define and remember why you want to spend intentionally and have a smaller wardrobe. So define your values and know why you want to spend less on clothes and why you want to have a smaller wardrobe. Do you want to eliminate decision fatigue by having a smaller wardrobe of clothing that all goes together? Maybe you're sick of spending so much money on clothes and you want to start saving for more important goals. Maybe you want to combat the consumeristic society or not purchase any fast fashion. Whatever your reason is, having a clear and defined why is going to make it so much easier for you to stick to habits and disciplines and cultivate a smaller wardrobe. My next tip is to shop with a purpose. I never browse for clothes anymore. I used to be such a shopaholic, and I used to just go on online shopping websites and browse just to see what they had. And that is one of the worst things that you can do if you are trying to spend less money on clothes. So I don't browse, I don't treat shopping as an activity. I treat it kind of more as a chore, I guess. I shop with a list. I will kind of go throughout my wardrobe and see what I want to bring in specifically. So maybe I want to bring in a new pair of pants, a new pair of jeans, a new kind of basic blouse. Whatever I want, I will kind of make a list and shop based off that list. I'll never browse just to see what I want to be added to my wardrobe. And also, I don't browse sale items because I feel like we just have a tendency to purchase things just because they're cheap. And I have bought so many things that have been on sale that I have either never worn or rarely worn in my whole life. And it's just not, I'm not saying never buy from sales. If there's something that you're specifically looking for and it's on sale, that's great. But don't just specifically browse the sale section looking for deals. My next tip is to define your personal style and stick to it. It's going to be a lot easier to create a wardrobe full of pieces that actually work together if you have a defined personal style. So create a little mood board on Pinterest, find styles that inspire you, that you love. Also, a great practical way to start doing this is to just look in your wardrobe at what you already have. Look at the recurring themes, look at what you already love to wear, and you will start to see styles and patterns emerging. Also, Michelle B here on YouTube has this great kind of quote, I guess, or just thought that she says in her videos, which is you can appreciate a style on somebody else without having to adopt it into your own wardrobe. Something along those lines. But that is just so true. And I feel like when I used to be in my shopaholic days, I used to see styles that were really cute on other people, and then I would purchase them for myself and they just would not suit me, or I'd rarely wear them. So learn to appreciate other styles without necessarily having to adopt them into your own wardrobe. Consider creating some wardrobe rules. These are kind of just general rules that will inform generally what you do and don't buy. Of course, there are exceptions, but having kind of rules that you stick to is going to help you create a wardrobe of pieces that go together a lot better and fall into your personal style. So for example, for me, I like to stick to a color scheme of neutrals and warm earthy tones. I don't buy cropped shirts and I don't buy loud patterns. Those are just a few kind of guidelines that I stick by to make sure that everything in my wardrobe goes together a lot better. My next tip is to shop for your real life, not your fantasy life. I heard this line in a YouTube video and I thought it was so genius. I had a tendency, usually when browsing for clothes, which we've already established is not a great habit, but I would used to see really cute pieces that wouldn't necessarily fit into my everyday style and think, oh, that would be perfect for fill in the blank. I would think in my head, oh, that would be perfect for a tropical vacation, a fancy dinner party, a festival, a 90s themed costume party, a vintage picnic themed Instagram photo shoot. Really random, obscure sometimes events that I had either never or very rarely experienced. But you're going to get a lot more wear out of your closet if you purchase pieces that actually suit your current lifestyle and not a potential future or fantasy lifestyle. And that's not saying to not have, you know, a nice piece for when you go out occasionally, but I'm talking for those very specific events, like a 90s themed costume party, which I've never been to. An example of this from my life is I purchased a bunch of kind of business casual, I guess, clothing pieces last year when I was applying for a bunch of jobs, thinking that I would be working in a corporate style job soon. But God had other plans and I'm now working from home and I never really wore any of those clothing pieces. My next tip is to delay your purchases to prevent impulse buys. Impulse buying has led me to purchase items that don't go with anything else in my closet, don't suit my style, or are just straight up impractical, and it just ends up being a complete waste of money and time and fabric and waste to have that piece. So now I always delay my purchases and I will never purchase something in the same instance that I decide that I want it. I'll always add it to a wish list note that I have on my phone, and I will wait usually at least a week until I purchase that item. My impulse shopping brain is very different from my practical shopping brain, and having that delay in time from the impulse to the actual purchase allows time for my practical brain to kick in and for me to kind of contemplate and consider whether this item is actually something that is worth the money and worth the waste and the effort to have in my life. And as a general rule, the more expensive the piece is, the longer time I will wait. My next tip is to choose quality over affordable pieces. When you're creating a more minimalistic style wardrobe, you're naturally going to be more intentional about the pieces that you decide to bring in. You're also going to be wearing them more often, so you're going to want them to be better quality. So opt for those quality, potentially more expensive pieces over just fast fashion, which is cheap and often doesn't last very long at all. Those more expensive quality pieces are going to last way longer in your wardrobe. They are oftentimes a lot more ethically and sustainably made, and they're going to be less expensive in the long run because you aren't going to be paying for new pieces to replace the ones that aren't lasting. My next tip is to consider setting specific times throughout the year that you audit your wardrobe and shop. I heard this from Jessica Rose Williams' vlogs. She does a lot of capsule wardrobe and minimalism type videos, but she has this rule where she audits her wardrobe every quarter or half a year, and she sees what she wants to bring in, and then she has a window of 1 to 2 weeks where she will purchase those items, and then she will not think about shopping for any other time of the year. I absolutely love this concept. I think it is so genius and definitely something that I will be implementing into my wardrobe. Putting a boundary on when you shop for your wardrobe is super helpful because instead of constantly being in this state of thinking of what new pieces can you bring in and how can you alter and perfect your wardrobe, you actually just allow yourself to be content with what you have and enjoy the pieces in your wardrobe. You're not constantly exhausted by choice. And my final tip is to consider the 1 in, 1 out rule. This is a rule that I've heard some people implement with their wardrobes. It's not something that I have necessarily implemented yet because I have still kind of been building my capsule wardrobe, but definitely something that I'm going to be thinking about going forward. So the one in, one out rule is pretty much whenever you bring a new piece into your wardrobe, you take an old piece out, sell it, donate it, whatever. So maybe every time you think you want to bring in a new piece to your wardrobe, consider what it could be replacing. Having this kind of rule that maybe you don't necessarily stick to every single time, but just having that to hold up your new purchases to can help you really kind of consider why you want to be bringing this new piece in, what you think your wardrobe is missing, and maybe if you already have a piece that fills that. This rule can also help you to stop from slowly creeping back to a place of having a wardrobe that is too full of pieces that you don't wear. It helps to prevent you from getting overly attached to clothes that you aren't wearing by cycling through and replacing them when you find you're not wearing them anymore. Alright, so those are my tips for shopping intentionally for your capsule wardrobe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope that these tips were helpful for you. Be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss my full capsule wardrobe video, which will be coming very soon. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video.